So just to give you a bit of a background, I quit golf over 20 years ago, and this year I decided to start playing again. Way back in the mid to late 90s, I was actually a trainee with the PGA. Not long after sort of starting my induction, I decided to quit. So you could say I played to a reasonable standard, but that's not the case now. I'd say on a half decent round I could probably get it round in about the mid-80s. So my ultimate aim is to first of all get myself a handicap, get myself down to single figures, and then see where I can go from there. I'd love to be able to sort of get back down to around 6 if I could, or even lower, but I know that's going to be a bit of a challenge. So yeah, that's just a bit of background for you. As I promised, I've just put together a little video just to showcase the clubs that I'm going to use. Check this out for a lineup. There's some oldies but goldies in here. I'll talk you through the set in a bit more detail now. Okay, first up we've got the old Ram Tom Watson Troon Grind wedge. 55 degrees sand wedge, 2 degree rake. As you can see, it's pretty battered. I've had this club since like the mid 90s, and it's my go-to for obviously the bunker shots, and just delicate chips around the green. I use this as my lob wedge as well, so I've not actually got a lob wedge in my bag, because the sole is quite thin with the rake on it, so I can get it out of tight lies, open the face up and sort of flop shots and that kind of thing. So this one's staying in the bag. Next up we've got the Cleveland 51 degree. I didn't actually own one of these when I was playing back in the 90s, early 2000s, but these were all the rage back then. So I bought this the other day, cheap price, and this will be my gap wedge basically. I haven't actually even gone and hit any balls with it yet, but feels great. Okay, putter up next. So I've always been a ping man, to be fair, but gone with this White Hot Odyssey putter. See how we get on with that. For the shorter irons, so pitching wedge up to 8 iron, I've gone with the Titleist 695 CB. Again, a bit more modern maybe than my old school tag might suggest, but still probably old school enough for a lot of you guys with your modern sets of clubs. The reason I've gone just with this set, pitching wedge and 8 iron, is just a bit more feel, maybe less forgiving than the longer irons I'm going to be using, but just want that feel and that, you know, that strike that hopefully we'll get, but still with a bit of forgiveness with the sort of cavity in there. So with the longer irons, I'm definitely living up to my old school golfer title with these Ping i2s, mid 90s probably, and these are the irons I'm going to use, 7 to 4 iron. And the thinking behind that is that obviously these are just going to be a bit more forgiving. I know there are definitely going to be more forgiving clubs out there, more modern clubs that are more forgiving, but I'm going to give these a blast. They were a club I loved back in the sort of late 90s, so I'm gonna have a go with these, see how we get on. Continuing with the old school theme, so my fairway woods, I've got 3 and 5 in these Callaway Great Big Bertha Warbird woods, again mid to late 90s. Yeah, and they're just pretty tried and tested off the deck on the longer holes, or you know, if you need to hit a safer shot off the tee. So we're going to go with the old school theme again, and just see how we get on with these 2 woods. And then that leaves the big dog, and as you can see, I've gone and really treated myself to a King Cobra F8 Plus driver, so 2018. So still not, you know, still a little bit older than I think a lot of people would want in their bag, but just a lot more modern than the going with the Callaway Warbird mid-90s driver, or I've got a Srixon titanium driver, which is still pretty old school, I guess. But so we're going to give this a go, see how we get on, and that's going to be the big dog off the tee. Hey, thanks for tuning into this episode. So why don't you follow me on the journey? There's plenty more content to come, hopefully some laughs along the way. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and keep a lookout for additional content as it comes along. Cheers.